Kia ora, and welcome to Wednesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news. The equity markets and the bond markets are flashing quite different signals, and equity markets seem quite out of step with the operating economic data. When these vary, there is usually a reckoning, and that usually, but not always, results in an equity correction. But first up today, the overnight dairy auction brought results similar to what the derivatives market had expected, maybe slightly better because of the show of early season strength in whole milk powder demand and prices. Volumes sold were the highest since October 2024, and helping the tone was a fall in the New Zealand dollar, which boosted the rise in local currency. Overall, the event ended up 0.7% in US dollars, up 1.5% in New Zealand dollars. The industry will be satisfied the new season is off to a good start. On the butter demand front, there was a noted fall-off in demand at these prices, except from China and the Middle East buyers. There is enough there to keep prices elevated, although to be fair, the butter price did ease 3.8% at this event. Meanwhile, the widely watched American ISM Services PMI unexpectedly fell in July from June, and the result was lower than expected. The services sector is now nearly stagnant, with seasonal and weather factors having a negative impact on business. A slowdown was most evident in the fall in new orders. Activity is still operating faster than new orders are arriving in, so it's not great for the future. Not slowing are price increases, so all the signs of stagflation are there. However, the internationally benchmarked S&P Global Market version told a more upbeat story. US exports fell in June from May, but the fall was only minor, and from a year ago they were up 3.3%. US imports fell more sharply in the month to be 1.4% below year-ago levels. But that only results in their trade deficit being back to mid-2024 levels, or the same as mid-2023 levels. The needle has moved very little here. But the RCM TIPP Sentiment Index rose in July, although the move was minor. It mirrored the monthly equity markets, and this index also hit a 4-year high. American household debt rose by $185 billion in the June quarter to a new record high of $18.4 trillion. That's now 60.6% of US GDP. The flow of household debt into serious delinquency was mixed across debt types, with credit cards and car loans holding steady, but student loans continuing to rise, and mortgages edging up slightly. In India, their services PMI tells a booming story. International orders and overall sales rose sharply from the fastest increase in business activity for 11 months. However, price pressures re-accelerated, so this boom comes with inflation consequences. It's a report in sharp contrast to the lackluster American equivalents. Someone is quite envious of their success and is now threatening sharply higher tariffs on India. Meanwhile, Trump is signalling that their endless truce with China will get another extension. And China delivered a positive data surprise yesterday, with the private Caixin Services PMI rising and by more than expected. Remember, the official NBS Services PMI eased lower. The Caixin China General Services PMI rose in July from June's 9-month low, with the fastest expansion in the service sector since May 2024, and with new business growing at its strongest pace in a year. And that is in contrast to the EU Services PMI, which remains weak, although it's still expanding. Quarterly June data out of Australia yesterday shows household spending rose at a good rate, up 5.1% from the same month a year ago, and the rate it rose from March was good too. Discretionary spending was strong. Western Australia was the only jurisdiction where spending fell. On a volume basis, that's after inflation's impact, it was up 0.7%. Join us at 10:45 a.m. this morning for the New Zealand labour market report for June, although it might just confirm the tough operating environment we're in. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.20% and up 1 basis point from yesterday, and the price of gold will start today at $3,379 an ounce, up $7 from yesterday. But American oil prices have slipped back again, down another $1 to just under $65.50 a barrel, while the international Brent price is just over $67.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is now at 59 US cents, a little change from yesterday. Against the Aussie, we're down 30 basis points at 91.3 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're unchanged at 51 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just on 66.9 and down 10 basis points. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $113,625 and down 1.4% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been modest though, at just on plus or minus 1.2%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.